It's the Wednesday night show here at Lighting Essentials, the Essentials Project 52 thing. And what's the? You have a question about a shoot tomorrow, Alicia?
It's a maternity shoot, and I'm wondering what would be the best way to light it, considering I have two strobes and two flashes.
Oh, the best way to light it, I think, is to light it the way you want it to look. I don't think there's a best way. It's what do you want to do with the shot? Is it a soft light shot? Do you want to rim light it? Maternity shots are um, not something that I do, but I've seen them
Okay,
done every single possible way you can imagine, from
okay,
soft single light to three or four hard lights with shadows. Um, I what I do is I sit down with my client. I try to get a personal vision of what my client would look good. And like I said, I don't do
uh-huh,
maternity, but on any other kind of portrait situation, and
uh-huh,
talking to them, try to figure out how I would represent them as a photograph.
okay,
And then what will happen is that something will come into my mind. I might say no, and I'll go on to the next one. But whatever comes
okay,
into my mind, that's the one that I'll probably try to go with. Yeah,
okay,
and then I carefully backwards deconstruct the shot that I see in my head.
okay.
Am I going to use a large light? Now, is she a large woman or a small woman with a?
No, she's tall, slim, and she has a considerable size belly right now. She's in her third trimester, and yeah, but it's not a client. It's a friend of mine who she's helping me out to, for me to get some experience with that.
Well,
So
um, very popular thing to do is to put the bride in front of something plain, black background, white background, gray background,
right,
and then
uh-huh,
sculpt because one of the things that you want to do is sculpt the body. I
yeah,
would think in a maternity shoot, if you want to show them as being, uh, uh, you know, with child or pregnant, if you want to show
mm-hmm,
that pregnancy, you're going to want to sculpt the body. And so,
okay.
one thing that works real well for that is strip lights. Do you have a strip light?
No, I do not.
Do you have a soft
Um,
lighter?
yes, I have two octagonal softboxes.
There you go. I would probably go opposing soft boxes, split
Okay,
lighting. So you've got
okay,
one soft light to camera left or right, and then you have
uh-huh,
one light on axis with that light coming from behind. And
okay, right.
turn that one coming from behind, turn it down. Start with it at 1 to 1, and then turn it down
Uh-huh.
until you get the look that you want.
Okay. Well, actually, that's the diagram I just finished drawing, so I'm feeling good about it now.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great go-to light for something when you're not really sure what you want to do. It's a great
Uh-huh.
go-to light because you'll sculpt the body with the single light up front. Do you have a grid for that octa?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great. I would grid them
No,
both.
not for the octabox. No, sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. No,
okay.
I
You don't
forgot it.
have a
My
grid
grid
for the
is
octa.
for just for the flash. No, it's not for the box. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um,
It's for the strobes to go
try,
directly on the strobes.
try taking the octabox and using two large fill cards on each side of the
Uh-huh.
front of the octabox. Try to take the octabox and make more of a sliver of light with it.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. So block off maybe sections of it.
Exactly. But but don't put them right next to the softbox, flat to the softbox. Put them out like barn doors,
Okay. Right.
and so
Mm-hmm.
that'll give you a much softer edge to the light,
Okay.
and bring them in till they're about. Um, hold on. Do you guys hear that ad? That ad is on my PC. There's no windows
Oh, I
open.
didn't
There's nothing open. It just starts to play. It plays every 15, 20
hear.
minutes. Ah,
I didn't hear anything.
my next computer is going to be a Mac. I'm done with this virus crap. Um, I'm on a little Mac 13 now, and I was told that a friend of mine has a Mac 15 with that's just loaded, and it's only just a little under 2 years old, and still has 6 months of
Uh-huh.
Apple Care on it, and he
Uh-huh.
wants only $1,300 for it. I'm thinking I'm going to get it. So I have a 15 and a
Yeah.
13. I'm just done
Yeah.
with this crazy PC stuff. Um, but start with it at about 6 inches and start to test.
Okay.
If you always want to start where the light is most extreme um, in your modification. So putting the barn doors wide isn't an extreme modification. Putting them 6 inches apart, starting with a real tiny little strip, and
Uh-huh.
then open it up until it looks the way you want it to look.
Okay,
And
right.
that may
Okay,
end
get
up
it. Yeah.
being without them at all. You
Right.
know, you could say, well, I really like the look without the barn doors. I tried all these
Yeah.
things, but try it and kind of to narrowly focus that main front light. And you might want to do it to the back one as well to
Okay.
really sculpt
Because I
the,
do want to have that nice sculptured
yep.
finished look. I want it to look intentionally well lit, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
So
Well, cross lighting is a great place to start because
okay.
it's it's a pretty source. It's a sculpting source, and it's
Uh-huh.
one that's really fairly easy to manage.
Right,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
and many times the reality is keep it simple.
Yeah,
The
good.
simplest solution
Yeah,
may be
we
the
like
best.
simple.
Yep, the simplest
Yep.
solution may be the best. And the other thing,
Okay.
of course, is you're going to have a pregnant lady there, so you don't want to, you're not going to be putting up all kinds of lights and having her stand there or whatever while you're fooling
Yeah,
around.
forever, yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
goal is to make her feel comfortable, make her feel great, so you can get a great photograph.
Yeah.
So very good.
Thank
You
you.
bet. I hope that helped. Anybody else with a question? All right. All right. We're going to get started on this first shot here by Alicia, which
Sorry, say that again, Don?
I said we're starting with your shot.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
not too proud of it. I don't like it, but
I'm
it's
not
what I
crazy
came up
about it.
with.
I'm not crazy about it. It seems overly lit, Alicia.
Yeah, well, it I don't know. I try to make it look contrasty to try to make it into something interesting,
Hmm.
but yeah, it didn't really work.
Yeah, I don't think this is. There's some interesting tangents, like this phone coming up into that line. So
Uh-huh.
we kind of lose the phone with the line behind it, and of course we
Yeah.
have this thing coming right out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Always dangerous. This one coming up above her head. If this bright area here had been behind her, it would separate her a little bit from that thing up there. And of course, and I don't know what your original cropping is, but cropping off their hands in this situation here in this shot
Uh-huh.
makes me uncomfortable. It's
Okay.
it just doesn't feel right. The shot doesn't feel
Right.
right.
Yeah.
What's good about the shot? I like the lighting on her. I like this little highlight down on her arm. I'm not crazy
Uh-huh.
about the light on him. I think
Okay. Well, it
that
was just one flash on camera with a flash bender to spread the light.
mhm.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, that's okay. And then your flash on the top, so it's casting a shadow down here.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's all right. You know what? It's not a terrible photograph. It's just not as good as you can do.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah, you've
I'm
already
not surprised you
you've
didn't
already
like it
proved
either.
yourself. You've already proved yourself here that you're capable of better shots than this. So
Oh my
think it
goodness.
through. Okay. Very good. Think it through.
Thank
Maybe
you.
maybe when you get a chance, do it again.
Yeah, I intend to get this right because it's been bothering me all week, and the problem is I'm trying to get an idea that's not obvious. I'm trying to get something abstracty,
Yes.
and I just can't seem to pull it together, So,
Yes.
yeah.
And sometimes we have to commit something to the canvas before we can go and make our real shot. Sometimes we just have to
Okay.
commit, and it's that committing that that helps us move forward. Because if we don't click the shutter, we don't commit and make a photograph and just constantly think, well, this isn't right, I'm not going to shoot it, then we've never reached those touchstones, those points where we can go, okay, that didn't work, now I can build on this.
Yeah.
So what is kind of cool is your background's kind of cool. The two kids are great. We're just going to have you're really going to be down to the lighting. So
Okay.
very cool. David Navrati, who is not with us tonight, kind of neat. It looks like he did a light painting shot. Wow, neat. I'm seeing more and more light painting these days. So we've got some painted over here, painted here. We do have a hard shadow on the nose of that. I'm wondering if we're painting the light. I wonder why if we could have just done something a little more subtle with the mask, because the mask just looks like it's blasted with light. I think it would look a lot more interesting. See how this little pool of light around the phone there? Just get that little bright area right around there. What if we had something similar to that on the mask rather than just the whole mask lit? And again, not a bad image, just not as tasty as it should be, David. So I hope when you see this recording, you can do that. F11. All right.
Hi there.
Hey, who's F11? Is that Norbert?
Yeah, sure, it's me.
Yeah. Um,
Can you read me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, fine. I have no feedback, and it's just the first time I used those earphones and the microphone, so I'm pretty clueless if you can hear me or not.
Yep, I can hear you fine. I don't hear any feedback. Are you getting feedback?
No, no feedback at all.
Good. Real pretty color palette here, Norbert. Very, very warm and fun color palette. So you went with the idea that the romance kind of dies, because is that a dead flower that I'm seeing?
This is a really dead flower.
Yeah,
I had a
really.
lot of
Okay.
time to do with the flower shop to find that dead flower, you know.
It's always fun to go out and go to a florist or something. Yeah, I'm looking for dead flowers, and they look at you like, why? Why are you looking for? They're all about fresh and everything, and they look at you almost like you want to catch them or something. Oh yes,
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
big
sort of.
I'm a big fan of dead flowers. I actually have a whole series of flowers, dead flowers, and um, bouquets that have died. Probably got
Yeah,
about
that's great.
15,
I'm
16
I'm
shots.
just collecting my stuff.
Yeah. The light is very interesting. We've got some nice front light, which gives us this little specular here, but we're also getting something from above to really light up the rows. And we have this little bright spot back here. If I'd been on the shoot with you, I would have loved to move that bright spot right back to here to give it even more depth. Um, and I think that's a specular of your top light, right?
Don't think so. No, I think that's coming from the softbox, from the front light. If you go down, you can see the lighting diagram. And here you, I'm pointing to my screen. Okay, you can't see my pointing.
No.
You can you see there's the front the softbox over the camera,
Yeah.
and I think it's shining into the cloth behind the phones.
Ah, okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's a.
I just muted this. I muted it a lot in the upper left. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe you in the original shot everything was lit almost the same.
Okay. All right. So you pulled it down in post.
Yeah, sure. Love.
Very, very good. Very good. It's a photograph that would pull you in. But like I said, I would have loved to have that kind of brightness, and maybe you can do that in post. That kind of brightness right there, right behind here. So we would see this bud and that stem, which is so important to selling us the fact that it's a flower, right? We
Yeah, it's
need.
too green still.
Well, you can,
I
you
try
can.
to avoid that because it's so green.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't want to lighten that up. You only want to lighten the red up behind it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. 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 Very
I have
cool.
just to set another black flag.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing all you go through to take a picture of a phone with a bud on it, isn't it? It's just
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
yeah, a lot of work goes into these things, folks. Um, and that's it. My goodness, darn it! Wish we
Yeah,
had some
that's it.
more, but what a lovely group of photographs. Everybody's pushing hard, um, and we'll see what Alicia comes up with because I know she's not going to give up. David, I'd love to see you stay with this one. Um, repost on this same thread, and just work that face a little bit more like you did the phone. Um, and F11, all I would tell you to do is to go in and get that, isolate that stem in Photoshop, and then behind it, just lighten that up ever so slightly. We don't want to look like you brightened it. We don't want to look like you have a snoot light on it or anything. Just ever so brightly so it goes from bright falling right back into that dark there. Nice specular reflection on the top of the iPhone as well. Very good. Well, that's very good, folks. I'm glad we have kept this alive. I will. I've got another assignment to post tomorrow, but you should be out with a couple assignments ahead of us to keep you
Okay, I
going.
see sushi is up.
What's that?
I see sushi is next week.
Sushi. That's right. Sushi. I tried to think of some type of food source that
Uh-huh.
everybody could get, and I thought, sushi. There's got to be a
Okay.
sushi bar somewhere near everybody. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
well,
But I was looking through like stock photos and just whatever was available to give
hmm
me ideas.
do you ever
And it
do a
just
Google
seemed they all
search?
seem quite the same. I don't know,
Yes.
there's just a general sameness. So do
Did
I
you
go
do a
with the
Google
general
search?
sameness?
Have you ever done Google like this? Sushi, right? Bada boom.
Uh-huh.
Then Google comes back, and then you hit images,
Yep.
and you get to see what everybody on the planet's done.
Yeah.
Um, lot of really boring sushi shots, aren't there?
So that's why I see you wanted it to look exciting
Yes. Yep.
and all that. So yeah, so that's gonna be the hard part, eh?
Yeah, it is. It is hard. There's. I mean, some of them are delicious looking. This looks really nice. That's not bad over there. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to put their thinking caps on. And remember, you learn more from the ones that you screw up than you learn from the ones that you do perfectly out of the bag. I would
Okay.
rather have you try something interesting and swing for the fence. If you get a double or a triple, you still swung for the fence. It's better than
Okay.
bunting, just to get on base, so to speak, to take a baseball metaphor. That's not a bad one right
Okay.
there. um, but so many of them are the same. Now you're going to have to figure out what are you going to do something different, because a
Yeah.
really cool sushi shot in your portfolio could really be a winner,
Uh-huh.
you know
Okay.
specifically because so many people do the same type of shot. So,
Right. Okay.
well, all right. Okay, folks, I'm going to let you go. Short show. Let your friends and neighbors know that we got this thing going here. It'd be fun to have some more people. I think we'd learn more if we had more people, but I'm very happy that you all are here. So,
Thank
Brett,
you very
Brett, I'm going to Skype you as soon as I'm done with this. I have something to chat with you about. So, Everybody else, have a great evening. Thanks for showing up.
You too. Bye.
See you later.